Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Nani Network. We are your hosts, Eli and Shay, and today we're bringing you something a little different. So for today's episode, we decided to do a anime lovers FAQ episode. So what are the questions that are the most debated in the anime fandom?
Word.
All right, so let's kick it off.
Alright, so first we have best starter anime. So the first, when you think about the best starter anime, you gotta think about what qualities you want to have in these shows. Like what intrigues me the most about anime. So I think what really caught me was how anime could be really fun. So I chose Assassination Classroom. It's the story of this organism who's basically hell bent on destroying the world. He shows up in this classroom one day and lets the kids know that he's going to give you a year to assassinate him, and if you can assassinate him, you're going to save the world and get like 1,000,000 yen. But if you don't, I'm going to destroy the world. So these high school kids are basically learning how to become assassins, and it's just really comedic, but it also has like dark turns, lots of action, and I don't know, just overall good concept. So I think it's really something that people can get into like at first. Like when you just testing it out, it gives you a little bit of what anime could be. So fuck with that.
Yeah, it's definitely a little lighter on the palate. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to throw somebody into like a One Piece or
Like
something.
into yo, cause shit could be long. Like I think it's like one season. It's good.
Yeah, so like that's something that I took into account when I picked my answer for this because for someone who's just starting out, you don't want to give them like I think too much material. Like let them see like the merits of anime before like you completely turn them off by going into something that's like too enough. So I chose Full Metal Alchemist because to me Full Metal Alchemist checked a lot of the boxes. It's a shorter anime. I think it like altogether between FMA and FMA Brotherhood is
Alchemist
probably
or Brotherhood.
well, I would recommend starting with Alchemist just because that's the order I watched it in. I find that in watching it in that order, there was a lot of things that Brotherhood didn't answer or I wouldn't have known about if I hadn't watched.
You need your answers.
Exactly, because they like Brotherhood started like 10 episodes after the regular FMA started. So if you
Word.
didn't like have like that intro, like I think that it could have gotten like a little confusing or you just wouldn't have known like the answer to certain things. So it was concise, there's action, there's a really good plot, the characters are palpable. So
Palpable.
I chose FMA and FMA Brotherhood.
Bet.
Number 2, sub or dub. I am dub all the way. I detest sub, mostly because people got jobs. Like I work, I have things to do. I don't have time to just sit down and fucking binge like seasons of a show. Like for like with dub, it's easy for me to just like pop it on the TV. I can still work, I can still clean, I can still move around and do what I have to do without fucking carving out a good chunk of my day.
Like this is true, but I love sub. I love when people when you hear it as it should be. Like when these people are out here talking in the English voices, like I do not believe it. When people are giving these speeches, they really sound like American children, and I'm just like, shut up.
Oh, isn't it because they are children?
Yes, no, but I want that Japanese voice. It sounds so much more convincing.
They sound so grown.
Like in Demon Slayer, there's this clip where Zenitsu is defending that little boy in the house where the guy with the drums was there, and like the guy comes and he's like, I'm gonna like guzzle your brains through your nose. お前のノーズを耳からジェロリと吸ってやるぞ! And he like went out. But like if he said that in English, I would have been like, man, shut up. But he said it in Japanese and I was like, yo. Like that shit was two piece. So I love sub. I'm not really a stickler for like which language it's in, but I definitely mess with like, just it being in sub in general. I feel like they're way more descriptive. Question 3. What's the worst anime you've ever watched? The worst anime I've ever watched, and it might be a little shocking to some. I don't even know how popular this one is. I don't hear about it much, but I chose Future Diary. Basically, it's like a competition for you guys, for not you guys, but for a select few to become the Grim Reaper or the God of Death. So everyone has this diary and they each have like a different premise behind their diary. You have the dog diary or the future diary where he predicts the future, or like these other diaries, and like that's how you bring about people's deaths. It sounds cool now that I'm saying it out loud.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, it sounds cool. But it was whack. I didn't like the storyline. I didn't really like the characters. The protagonist was whack, and he had this like psycho girl chasing after him who was like in love with him, and she turned out to have a diary herself. It was like, I didn't really like it. I didn't really get into into it much, so nah.
Okay. I haven't watched that, but it sounds interesting. So I'm just trying to decide if you're being a hater or not.
No, I'm not. Could I ever? Nah, I mean, watch it. You'll see. You're a bigger hater than me, first of all. So if I'm saying you don't watch it, I don't know why you would go and try.
For this one, I chose Blue Exorcist. I hated Blue Exorcist. From the very first episode, it was like just I'm not gonna say it's not interesting. It was just like poorly executed, I guess. I didn't like the protagonist, and I need to like the characters because, like, even no matter how good your plot is, if your characters are garbage, I can't get behind
Where,
it.
like, who's delivering the story?
Right.
But the characters.
So the character was like super annoying. His family was annoying. The animation didn't really do anything for me. So yeah, I was not feeling Blue Exorcist. I think I got like 2 or 3 episodes in, and I was like, I can't. I'm not gonna like. I can't do this.
Yo, and that sounds crazy to say, but honestly, in the first 2 and 3 episodes, if you don't do something that really makes you be like, okay, this is a good show, then
You actually did everything that made me say, "Oh, this is a bad show." Like I
yes.
don't. I won't watch this.
Nah, I feel you though.
All right, next question we have best anime protagonist. So for this one, I chose Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho. I really love Yusuke because I don't think that there's a lot of protagonists like him. Like he was a delinquent, and I feel like he was very human. Like they made him very human. A lot of the protagonists now, I feel like they make them so like these goody goodies, like justice to the end. I'm always there for my friends. And
Yeah.
yeah, he was always there for his friends, but like
Burn.
they're just like so obnoxious with it. Like all of them, Midoriya, Naruto, and I like these protagonists as well, but it gets overdone and trite, and I don't like it. So
And it's not realistic some of the time. It's like, you
right,
know what?
like Yusuke, like I feel like he had like very human emotions. Like he dealt with things like any regular ass person would. Like he had his bad traits. Like he could be a dickhead when he wanted to, but when it push came to shove, like he was a good guy. He was vulgar. He cursed. He I don't know. He just probably. I'm like, dang, is that what I look for in a man?
That's what she
Maybe I need
likes.
to reevaluate myself. But he's my choice for favorite anime protagonist.
The protagonist I mess around the most with would honestly have to be my beloved Gon from Hunter x Hunter. This dude, he's just such a lighthearted, fun guy, and not even in the way as the others, because he didn't even like a lot of the time know or acknowledge his own strength. He would just be like busting ass, kicking ass, and he just attracted all these like people who, in the end, really came for him in his bonds to find his father and to save his life. And he just had that it factor for me in a he had a fishing rod
He's very
first.
humble.
Yeah, I remember shitting on him and like shitting on the anime because he used a fishing rod as his weapon. And then like he like he humbled me and shut me the fuck up. And like he's really is one of my favorite freaking characters. Him and Killua are super high on my freaking list of like anime protagonists because those like once Killua got his power down, like electricity because you were tortured with electricity, like that shit is just that shit. I love that anime by the way, clearly. So
Yeah, they were a very cute duo.
word. Now we got which anime world would you want to live in? Now we all know these anime worlds are batshit crazy. Whether if you're trying to stay out of this shit, there's some way you're gonna get into this shit. So I felt like I wanted to choose a world that was close to ours, but also I want to have powers. If I'm gonna be in a fucking anime world, I want to have some sort of powers. I don't want the short end of the stick. So I chose My Hero Academia's world. Even though they're not fully evolved yet, where there's a small percentage of Midoriyas out there, I hope to God I would not be a part of that. I'd be so bad. But I would go there and I don't have to be a superhero. I could be a freaking vigilante. I could like do whatever, use my powers like how I want.
You'd be a Stain.
Yeah, a stain, and not even that obsessive, okay?
Right, like, fucking batshit.
I'll save somebody if I can. Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to put myself in danger, go to a fucking hero academy and have my face broadcasted across the world. But, I want to have powers and I think that's a cool world. They have cell phones, they have internet, they have cities. So, I could see myself there.
For me, most of the anime world is pretty terrible. Like I wouldn't want to live in any of these things because I am risk averse by nature. So, and it would also be my luck that, like Elijah was saying, like I'd be in My Hero Academia, and like my power would be like, because as we've seen, people have like lame ass powers too. Like my power would be like I could transform into an ice cream cone or some dickhead shit like that.
Yo.
So knowing what my luck is, I would have to say that I would probably choose the Digimon world, and I mean the Digimon human world. So while they doing all they fuck shit in the Digiverse, and maybe my lights are flickering or whatever happened,
Yo.
I know that I am not a Digi-destined. This is not my problem.
Yo.
I am just going about business as usual.
And your risk averse ass, while all the kids were looking at the Digimon in their windows and becoming Digidestined, you would have been
Not
under your
my
covers in your
problem.
bed.
Yes,
like,
I would.
whatever that is,
I would
I'm
have
not in it.
grabbed my pickany and we are going under this bed until all of this weird shit ceases.
I would have been in
because
the shit.
as we see in the Digi, in like well, it depends on which Digimon you watch, but like some of them, the problems in the Digiverse can translate into the human world, but for the most part, they got that shit, right? So no one else really needs to get involved. So I will be in the Digimon world, but in the real world,
I can't
and I will
believe
not
you
be
would bring Digimon into this in such a way to completely not be involved.
Risk averse.
That's crazy.
And it's easy to be risk averse because it's only like 12 Digidestined. Like, not even 12, it's like 7 Digidestined.
No, there is so many Digidestined.
Oh, well, what the freak? It's like 7 per continent, so...
Girl.
Slim pickings. I know I would not be involved. All right, next question we have is best streaming site for anime. So for me, that would be Funimation. As mentioned earlier, I am a huge fan of dub, and Funimation has, I believe, the largest selection of dubbed anime. Looks like Netflix is coming for them soon, though. But Funimation currently has the largest selection of dubbed anime, so, and it's cheap. It's like $6 a month, so I fuck with Funimation.
For me, I don't really care. Like I said, I prefer sub, well, but I don't mind watching dub. Wherever I get it is where I'll take it. So, I like Crunchyroll a lot because I like the bright orange. It's like really good color scheme, and it gets me hyped up to watch my animes. And now they came out with the Crunchyroll originals. But either
Which
way,
are fire.
Yeah, either way, wherever I can get my anime, I get it. With the super popular animes though, like Dragon Ball Z, Black Clover, they actually have sites that are like dedicated to watching that show, and Digimon. So like if you want to go from like series to series to series, like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, you can do that on just one site, and it just goes seamlessly through all the episodes. So the super popular ones definitely have those. So I like to watch it on those when those are available. I said those like mad times. those. Which villain do you empathize the most with? Now, not all these villains are like assholes. Some villains have like, sob stories behind them too. Somebody was abandoned.
If anything, sometimes I'll be fucking with the villain more than the hero, because they just be sticking their nose and shit. Just for shits and giggles.
It's like, and sometimes their plans don't even be to like destroy the world. Their plans just really like get them in a better spot, and then here comes the protagonist. You better leave that alone. You better stay in the gutter, baby. So I think with that in mind, I chose Jiren from Dragon Ball Super. He was the antagonist, so I guess I could count him as a villain. He wasn't really here to help. He was there to like destroy Universe 7, our universe. So you ain't a friend to me. So, but he had like a nice story behind him. His family was slaughtered. He saw his teammates be slaughtered. All these things. So he just wanted to be powerful so that he could protect his. And I always understand that. So I empathize with that. And I was really messed up when they lost. And like the big twist at the end of Super, we all know what that was. So when that came about and so much potential for like what's gonna happen in the Dragon Ball universe, like I was really happy about all that.
I don't know that man.
I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
But I'll take your word for it. The villain or antagonist that I empathize the most with would be Diva from Blood Plus. So Diva's backstory was she is the sister of the series' main protagonist, Saya, and they are, well, let's just call them vampires. That's the closest thing to what they are. They're like vampires, and they were found by this wealthy old white guy, and he, or probably Japanese guy, I guess. He took the girls when they were babies, and he raised Saya as his daughter, but Diva in an effort to learn more about them, what they are, where they're from, he raised Diva as like a lab experiment essentially. Like she was locked in a cell for the majority of her life while Saya was loved and cared for and like treated as his own daughter. So when she was finally able to escape, Diva, she had a lot of pent up shit inside of her, right? So she basically saw all humans as the guy who took care of her as assholes, while her sister, who was raised by humans, grew to love them. So Diva's purpose became to basically take away everything that Saya loved. So she started like targeting her family and doing all these things, but she was a bitch. Like she definitely was a cunt, but I understand where the cuntness came from. And then when Saya did, kill Diva, she kind of reverted, you see, like back to like that innocence where it was just like at the end of the day all she really wanted was just like her sister's love and attention, because they were literally the only
that's not the way to get
relatives that they had. But she was raised in a fucking cell. I would have murked everybody too.
I don't give a fuck. I didn't do shit to you, baby.
Yes, you did, because she knew that she was there, but she didn't, like, Saya didn't know the relationship between them.
That's like that Kevin Hart joke where like everybody, where like he's at the gas station and somebody comes in to like shoot the place and he says, "You can go." He's like, "What am I gonna turn back? Like, hey, can she come too?" Like, no, nah, sorry, nah. See you soon, sis. She got out.
Yeah, you don't look. It's not,
now that you out, now you mad. Nah, play.
She was.
Everybody wants to come out, and now you're out.
Well, Sarah was a dickhead for letting her out in the first place, but neither here nor there. Next question we have is: if you could only watch one anime for the rest of your life, what would it be? After much deliberation, I have decided to go with. I'm going to actually put it as a tie between two anime.
Oh.
So one of those animes would be Naruto, and that would be because, well, Naruto sheer content alone, like I think between Shippuden and regular Naruto, there's about like 700 episodes, and then now they got Boruto, and I'm not watching that shit.
Of course.
Like if you get bored, I guess you can always go to that. But Naruto, mostly because of the fight scenes, like they have one of the best animated fight scenes.
This, Shay. What's your second?
My second
when it was only supposed to be one. What's your second?
Is One Piece, because that shit is still airing to this day. So I guess like you don't have to really worry about a lack of content. There are 881 episodes going strong.
So guys, before we recorded this and before we decided that we were not going to share our answers with each other, we shared this question and I let her know that I would be choosing Naruto for the exact same reasons that she gave. And she says, you can't include Boruto. Naruto's not in it. And I said, yes, he is. It's called Boruto, Naruto Next Generations. He's there. And, just to hear this.
As a sidekick, like.
It's crazy. But I too chose Naruto for the shared content, shocker. The movies, and from the beginning till end, there's just mad episodes. And I skip so many of those filler stories that I can go and watch some new content whenever I feel like it. Who's the best female anime character? The best female anime character for me, and like, there's a lot to choose from because I usually do like the female characters that they toss into some of my good animes. I do like them, but I had to go with Mikasa Ackerman from Attack on Titan. She is like a fucking beast. Once you let her onto the field, she's going to body, and she's just so like. Stands in her shit. She's like, period. Like, they be like, oh, you're gonna go over here. She's like, nah, I'm gonna stay with Eren. And it's like, oh, okay. I thought I was the general, but clearly you're gonna do whatever the fuck you want.
How has she not been let go for like? Isn't there like a thing where like
insubordination or like like she's wilding?
But they know that they can't fight. What the fuck you gonna?
What are you gonna do without her? And that's that kind of power flex that she regularly fucking does. Her and Captain Levi, like when they're out there, shit's gonna get turned up. And it turns out that her bloodline is linked to these assassins that protected the original royal family, and that's why she has like these keen sense, and she's so adept at using I forget what it's called, but their weaponry and be able to maneuver through the air and all those things. So she's just dope. She's badass, and like she doesn't need a Titan power to like kick some ass. Whereas Eren and now what is it? His other little
Oh,
blonde friend,
Armin.
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 I don't like Armin.
I don't like. Well, I'm not gonna say I don't like Armin, but
They had to do something to him. Finally, they did. But I was like,
they
you know,
did. But then I'm like, I mean,
do
I
need your hand?
guess it was kind of like an I guess moment. Like,
Right.
at that point, I wasn't really feeling. I forget the blonde guy who.
The captain.
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling him at that point either. So I'm like, oh, y'all killed both of them off. For
Right.
all I care. But I guess they had to do something with the Titan power. But get that shit to Mikasa. Mikasa.
She didn't need it.
She didn't need it, but like I'm like y'all gave us a fucking army.
I'll be damned if they left his burnt ass down there and said, "Hey, Mikasa, you hungry?" That's crazy. Like I'd be like, "Damn, you really never fucked with me."
Right? Yeah. Okay. I guess I can see that. My favorite female anime character is Marileona Vermilion from Black Clover. Now, Marileona is in a class of her own, honestly. She is so fucking badass. Like, oh no, like she be whooping ass and taking names. Like her fights are incredible. She goes up against. I ain't got getting all that. Like she is. I love her personality. I love her fighting. She is better than both her brothers, which they don't usually do in anime. Like, you know, they always got to make the girls play second fiddle to somebody. But she's one of those characters who just commands respect when she steps into the room. Like, other captains, like if you watch Black Clover, you'll know, are intimidated by her. And she
I don't know if respect's the word, but she demands something when she palms your head.
Come here.
So it doesn't matter if you respect her or not, and that's like
right. Like, and this is someone who isn't like she doesn't even have the title of captain. Like she didn't want it. Like exactly. Like you like that bitch when you don't even have to like prove shit to nobody. Like she said, I don't want this. You can have it. I'm gonna go live out in these woods and do whatever the fuck she was doing out in them woods. But she came back only because they fucked with her family.
Period.
Right. So she has loyalty, integrity. She's beautiful. She's noble. She's not one of those dickhead nobles either. So she has like a great personality. She really helps the series protagonist with like confidence and training and just doing everything.
Confidence. Training and battle sense.
She gave Noah some confidence with her little pep talk about.
Oh, you talking about Noah? I'm like, she helped Asta's useless ass out a lot. Like, fucking Noah. Noah needed help from every character on the roster.
But like now that I reflect, I'm like Marileona is like low-key a mentor. Like I didn't think of her as that, but she really took.
She mentored everyone.
She did against their will, obliquely. But I mean, listen, it still helped, baby, because y'all would have all got y'all booty holes eaten out when this devil came if it wasn't for her. So Marileona Vermilion is my favorite. Which power has the most potential? For this one, it's kind of difficult to choose like when comparing anime just because like there's different gauges that each author kind of sets their characters to, so it's kind of hard to compare. But the power that I saw like the most potential in would be thread magic, Vanessa's thread magic from Black Clover. So her power essentially started out just like what it was. It's like she can manipulate and weave threads like the best genus. But what I love about Black Clover is that your power, no matter how mundane it seems, can be built upon. So Vanessa's is one of those where her power is thread magic, but it can be built upon to include the red thread of faith. So what Vanessa can essentially do.
Faith.
Did I not say that?
You said faith.
Listen.
She has faith, man. She hoping to God.
Faith.
Fate.
Oh my goodness.
No, this is Patrick.
Just hope. So she can manipulate situations to best benefit what would be ideal for her. So essentially, once she has enough energy, it is impossible to kill her or her comrades because her magic will manipulate the situation to essentially rewind whatever happened. So we saw an example of that where like her squad members were getting killed and then her power reversed it into something into something harmless. Like instead of somebody getting, their fucking head cut off, the attack misfired and, hit a wall or some stupid shit. So I see a lot of potential in that power.
Yeah, that's dope.
So
I
we've
love
seen
hearing
how
that
it can be
stuff.
used defensively. So I'm hoping going forward, because Black Clover is still airing, that they show that if it has some uses offensively as well.
Make some shit happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nah, I fuck with Vanessa. The power I think that has the most potential. I didn't know because some of these shows aren't airing anymore, so I don't want to speculate about what the potential of these powers are because I'm not the fucking writer. I don't know what they actually were gonna do for these people. So I decided to limit myself just to shows that are actively airing. So I definitely went with Eri from My Hero Academia. She's a relatively new character, and she just came this season, so they have more in store for her. They gotta milk her for all she's worth, but she has the power of rewind, so she they gotta milk her. Yeah, but she can rewind people and she can reset wounds, and that's why Midori was able to use her all for one at 100% because she was able to rewind his wounds and since he was actively breaking them, she wasn't rewinding him past the point of existence because that's really what she can fucking do.
He was destroying his body.
He was destroying his body as quickly
yeah.
as she was rewinding him, so it wasn't affecting him in that way, which was just batshit fucking crazy. But I think her potential is just through the roof because she can't control it right now. It's just out of control. So imagine somebody who can't control that, and imagine the My Hero Academia spin on it when she goes to UA or whatever and she learns how to use her power the same way Lemillion did or Mirio did with his little intangibility. It became holy shit. He's
permeability.
Unstoppable. I'm thinking what is it, Daddy Phantom? Go intangible. But whatever. But yeah, I'm here for Eri. He's a fan. Next question. What popular anime could you not get into? Real simple. I could not get into Fairy Tail. Was not here for it. And Fairy Tail is the reason why I didn't want to give Black Clover a chance.
Wow.
I think. Because they gave me same vibes, magic, loudmouth, and I was not again. I'm not doing this again.
Oh, I don't want you, I don't want you, I don't want you.
I'm not. But I could not get behind the main character of Fairy Tail. I didn't really like the powers. I didn't really like the magic. I didn't really like the characters. And I didn't even know that it was a popular anime. I just was not here for it. And then I just started seeing it around and I'm like, this is what you people want? Is this your queen? Is this? But I don't know. Maybe.
I have two answers for this one. I second Fairy Tail. It wasn't my cup of tea either. No one spoke to me. I didn't like it. The other one that I super detest is Seven Deadly Sins. I did promise Elijah that I would
enunciate like that.
I promised Elijah that I would give it another chance because he promised me that the fighting gets better or the show gets better. However, I don't like it. I don't like any. Well, let me not say any of the characters. Greed's pretty cool, but I hate the main character. I hate the main female character, that ninny of a woman. I hate her
too.
I detest how certain animes portray their female protagonists. I especially hate her. Being confident in your friend is not a power. You don't deserve to be here. Don't make it a thing. It's not a thing.
To be clear, I said season 2.
They'd be the same person that'd
be
like, no, Elizabeth, you contribute as much to the team as anyone else.
Kudos for you for always remembering names of people though, because I didn't even remember these people.
I remember because I hate her.
I know Meliodas, but I forgot all about her. I banished her from my mind.
Yeah, so
season 2 just gets better than season 1. They take away from it. It's a little bit darker, a little bit more serious.
I've seen a lot of people rave about the fight scenes, but I can't even get to that because you don't give me anything in between, right? It's like a sandwich with no filling, just bread. So I hate Seven Deadly Sins. I hate Fairy Tail, and as mentioned earlier, I don't like Blue Exorcist.
So yeah,
I'm just gonna beat that one to death. Next question is Boruto or Gohan. So I'm gonna go with Gohan just off of principle.
Principle?
Boruto's a dickhead. He is a spoiled brat. He's so disrespectful to his father, and maybe it's because I grew up with Naruto, but like I've seen his struggles, like from shut up, from day one. Like no, he went through so much shit, and all he wants to do is be the best thing and person that he can be, and he's trying so hard. And his son is a little prick, like ruining, like from literally.
Maybe he should have kept it in his pants.
Since Naruto was, a pup, his dream was to be the fucking Hokage, and to see him be that, like, I'm so proud of him, right? I feel like my baby, like, once, like, done graduated and went off to school. And then Boruto's over here just giving him so much slack for it. Like, oh, well, daddy's sorry that he can't spend some time with you. Do you want a roof over your head? You want food on the table?
I'm
or
sorry.
Do you want some quality time? Huh?
Is the Hidden Leaf Village gonna cut fucking Naruto's check? Like, he says, hey, I'm gonna Himawari's birthday. He said, hey, I'm gonna go bring this cake for my daughter. And they say, no, we're gonna cut your pay and fire you. He says, okay, so when Kaguya and her pals pull up to fuck him, what's gonna happen?
Listen, all I'm saying...
When the Leaf Village gets destroyed for a fourth time, will they learn?
But guess what? Look, all I'm saying is that, Hinata's not working. Is she bringing home any money? Or do y'all want to live how Naruto lived when he was a kid off fucking...
Shikamaru's with his son.
Ramen.
Fuck it, Gaara's with his adopted son.
We don't know what Gaara's doing. That's their household. I'm sure they manage differently. But here people need you, okay? That's like comparing fucking New York to Kansas. Of course Gaara's with his son.
Oh, shit.
I got shit to do over there.
Whoa.
In the sand. Who the fuck is trying to take out a war?
Don't you dare.
I will fucking not declare war on a goddamn beach.
I mean, clearly, when it comes to Boruto or Gohan, I'm going with Boruto because, Gohan, initially, he was supposed to take over as the main protagonist of the Dragon Ball series after, I believe it was Cell, and that's why all that shit, and he was the dopest character. And then when they decided to bring Goku back, they gave this nigga the backseat of a fucking lifetime. He became the great Saiyaman. That is disgusting. I hated that story arc so damn much that Gohan, I will never look at you the same, bro. I can never, and now, he doesn't even go to Super Saiyan. They keep unlocking his fucking potential. Well, I'm starting to question if he has it. Okay, but here comes Boruto contributing so much to the Naruto storyline.
What does Boruto contribute to the Naruto storyline? Nothing.
They believe he has the Tensegan.
They could have been fine ending Naruto at Naruto. Like, I know it's all cute and shit to give them kids, but now they got Naruto looking haggard. These kids sucked his youth out. He fought the Great Ninja War and he looked less tired than he does now. Because kids want to play with daddy.
If Boruto shows one thing, it shows that children suck the life out of parents. They
absolutely do. Naruto's waking up in the middle of the night with fucking PTSD trying to be the best.
Hey, Naruto back to mumbling. I'm sorry, Boruto, your dad is just...
regressing. You have kids and you're regressing.
Kids are horrible. But nah, I'm all for Boruto. And the show is cheesy a little bit, but if you watch, they have been developing, and we're all here for the eye. We're all here for the new powers that are going to come about. You know how they started the series with Boruto as a full-grown adult, using shit we haven't seen before. That's what I'm in it for, and that's what I'm waiting on. And if they want to put fillers like they did with Naruto, I'll skip them just like I did in Naruto. Okay?
I just want to say for the record, people only watch Boruto because Naruto shows up sometimes. Next question.
Whatever. What was the most shocking plot revelation? For me, the most shocking plot revelation has to do with my favorite protagonist, Avi. Well, not obviously, but it's gone. When he finally got to fight the Chimera, and I forget her name, but the cat lady one, and he basically had to sacrifice his youth and his childlike body to become this grown man and have his adult strength. And he beat the living shit out of her, and that was the most gratifying moment because they were those Chimera ants were fucking with them and doing the crazy stuff. So when they finally got theirs, we were like, yes. If you watch the clips on YouTube, that's probably the one scene. If you've never watched Hunter x Hunter, that's probably one of two scenes you've probably seen. The other one is Killua shocking the fuck out of the other Chimera ant. And to find out after that, because of the sacrifice he made, it put him out of commission, not just for a few episodes, but for the remainder of the series, basically. We saw him on the last episode of the series. They're quote-unquote going to continue someday, but we didn't see Gone for the Remainder, and that shocked the fuck out of me, especially with him being my favorite protagonist. So it's like, yikes, that was like super shocking to me. I was shook.
Biggest plot revelation for me, I think I'm a simple gal, so like it doesn't take much to catch me off guard. But the most shocking plot revelation to me was the revelation of the devil in Black Clover. Huh, who saw that coming? Yes, it was like the devil was a primary theme throughout the show, but for up until what was it, up until season 3.
Yeah. End of season 2, beginning of season 3. Yeah.
No, it was the end of season 3. No. Like not the end of season, the midway. Yeah. So halfway between season 3 was when like literally the last like
of the Elf Saga,
the
last leg.
The last leg of the Elf Saga. Like so for like 2.5 seasons, we were led to believe that the primary antagonists were the elves, and yes, they were dickheads. But what we didn't know was that they were pitted against the humans in this like grand plot that was orchestrated by this devil. So both sides were played against each other, and when they revealed who this man was, he was like him from Powerpuff Girls. And him scared the shit out of me when I was a child.
Me too, yeah.
He was creepy as fuck. He has the same high voice. Like
Bubbles.
Powerpuff Girls, we need you. Powerpuff Girls, we love you.
Oh my god, he makes my skin crawl. And it's been a while since like, for the most part, antagonists are just like dickheads. But he wasn't just a dickhead. He was like, he gave me like
creep vibes. It's not like Rekka from freaking Fire Force. It's like, you know, he's just a batshit crazy human. It's like, no, this is a devil with a tail and this long, sleek gray and black body.
Bodysuit, right, like, with his cat suit.
Yeah, legendary vibes.
Exactly, but he and his power too was like was crazy. Like we already know that the premise of the world is magic and grimoires, but he used word soul magic. So it's kind of like he had this like anything he said came to pass.
Word soul magic.
Like, so that was actually another power that had a lot of potential, but I mean he got clapped, so we saw how that ended.
That's bad on that.
But I didn't see him or the devils playing that role in like the role in that way. So I
didn't think the devils were actually
manipulating shit.
I didn't think they were. I didn't think they were.
Oh, you thought it was like a film, like a
I just thought it was like a fable. Like in the fifth leaf lies the devil. Oh, Asta has negative magic. Canceling magic, and it's like anti magic. Yeah, I was like, it's not magic at all. It's anti. It's like whatever. But it's just weird. The devil's becoming a thing, and I'm so interested for like where the series is going now.
Yeah, because they hadn't even besides like so in Asta's power up, we see him get like these devil like features. Yeah. But again, like to me, I just didn't know that they were playing. And that was so good,
that was
right?
my first time really seeing him talk to his devil too. That's where I'm like, okay, wait. So these guys really are a thing? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then I don't know. Like, so that was my answer. Again, probably somebody would have saw this coming. I'm a simple gal. It blew my socks off. I called Elijah like,
because he was like a little blip. He was like a mouth. Like a mouth just popped up.
I loved the whole animation of that scene, that fight. Like, how they introduced him. A show hasn't grabbed me by the ovaries like that in a while. So
it's one of the times where I understood that the characters were all standing there in shock because I was sitting here in shock.
Yeah.
They were all still like, what is going on?
When it's like you don't move, you don't attack, you don't do anything, it's like I understand.
Yeah, usually I'd be like, yo, do something before it goes. It's like, you don't even know what that is. Like,
my first reaction would have been to turn tail and haul ass, okay?
Where am I?
Oh, I'm in hell.
Hell. Like,
all right, last but not least, what are your anime must-haves? For me, the most important thing, I think in anime, no matter how good like your plot is, how good your storytelling is, I need to like your characters. And for me, I prefer animes that have a squad. I mean, most of them do have a squad, but I need to like your team, right? Like, that was one of my issues with Plunder. I hated everybody on Blue Exorcist. Like, if I can't get behind your characters, if I can't get behind your mission, if I don't feel like I'm part of the gang, if I don't feel like I'm looking for the One Piece with you, like, then what is the point? Like I need
It's
to
true.
feel that friendship. When Naruto said that he was your friend, I knew that he was my friend. Okay, like I need you to make me believe. Okay, like it's on Peter Pan shit. Like I need that in it. Like you can't just be like, oh yeah, that's my homie. Like no, I want to see you die. Like I think all the animes that are like in my favorite, somebody has died for their friend. If it ain't sacrifice, it ain't real.
Well, as your friend, let something be clear for you. I'm not going to be killing myself for you, baby. I'm sorry.
They came back.
not Neji. Okay? Not Neji.
He died for his cousin. That's what he fucked up. You don't die for family, you die for friends.
That was the trauma of my childhood. Like, son.
I bet you if he would have jumped in front of, just straight in front of Naruto, he'd have been okay.
I guess.
Yes.
No, the fuck he would have done.
Because you know what? Because Hinato's okay.
Because, you know, they said he had one too many strikes. When he got that hole pierced to his chest.
Neji got a 12-foot shank shoved through his chest, but Hinata didn't even get a scratch, and she was 2 feet behind him.
Yo.
Huh?
And, you know, that's how when they were tossing her up in the air, I wasn't that mad. Yeah, and I was like, let her go! I was like, no. This Neji wants this. This one's for Nesh.
First of all,
this
are
one's
you
for
talking about
Nesh.
the fight with Pain?
Yes!
That was before the war.
Oh, fuck, I forgot.
Or
Dang
you
it.
just trying to say that they just needed to
I
happen?
think afterwards, I switched those in my mind to make it make sense. Like, yo, like,
she needs to be punished.
I was really sad. Like, to this day, if you look at my iPad, like, I have a memorial to Neji as the background. Like, rest in peace, bro. Rest in peace, Neji.
Yeah, there's so many other characters they could have killed, but I mean, I guess do what you gotta do.
Get rid of Choji. To this day.
Facts.
To this day, you can get rid of Choji.
They could have got rid of Kiba too. They could have
And
took that whole
Akamaru.
team. Shino, Kiba. Oh, that was Hinasa's team. Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yikes. Like, sure, she made it. Naruto would be last. But my anime must-haves, like Shay, I need those characters. I need, like, the team that I love. And I need a fucking fire power set. I don't care if it's mana, ki, imperial arms, jutsu, chakra. Like, you know, I don't care what it is, but you can need a diverse group of friends. You guys all need to be able to do something different with that power. And I need fire battles. And, like, that locks it in for me. I also need some humor. I don't like the overly serious animes.
Yeah.
Like, you need to put that protagonist through the ringer. And let's laugh about it after, huh? You know, let's take a break. Let's calm down.
Slaughter his family. Let's have a good chuckle
After
now.
Asta, he's like, despair! Despair!
Despair! Despair! Despair! Despair!
I'm breaking your arms! And then afterwards, hey, let's go on a happy quest for Asta to heal him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's laugh and joke about it. Ah!
Yeah, that hurt my feelings.
Because some of these animes will hit you like boom, 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 boom. Despair,
Take
horrible.
breaks,
Like, you know,
yeah.
I need some laughter. I need some light in there. That's how the characters become likable. And that's how I see that they actually fuck with each other.
Yeah.
But, you know, like,
Again, you gotta go on a quest for your friend.
quest for your friend. Die.
Die.
Wait, I need you both to lose an arm like Sasuke and Naruto. Like,
Listen, that's what. There's no other way to prove that, you know, you're my rider. Ah.
and on that note, yikes. On that note, that was all our questions for the anime FAQ. That was really fun. I don't know. That was crazy.
It was cute. If you guys had any different answers or whatever, let us know. I think there's comments on this.
Right, yeah. No, definitely let us know or hit us up on IG as usual at the official Nani Network. And we'll catch you next time.